you are the outbound leader globally, and you've made all these advancements. And so I was kind of curious as to how, over the span of the company, how things have changed and what new things we're going to see along there besides compliance and regulations, which is not necessarily a fun topic.
No, that's never fun.
Never a fun topic, but you have made a mass amount of investment into making your products work well with all those regulations. Can you tell me something about that, as well as any new features and things?
Now, you're talking about outbound specifically, or are you talking about just the product in general?
Well, the whole suite, actually.
Yeah. Well, obviously, we've been the leader in outbound now, I think, for 5 years in a row. And we continue to improve even the outbound piece of our technology. One recent improvement that we have that's about to be released in the product that we haven't put a lot of fanfare into is, but we've already have a patent issued on it, is there's a problem out there in the world ever since the telecoms divested, where and ISDN came along and now SIP came along, where the codes that we get back from the telephone company on the call results are not 100% correct. They're only about 98% or 99% correct. So sometimes what happens is we get a code, and not just we, anyone, will get a code back from the phone company that says that this phone call was busy, when it's really not. It's really a disconnected message. Or we'll get a code that says it's a disconnected number, and it's really not. It's really busy. And so we recognized this problem a long time ago, and there was no good solution to it.
Did you solve it?
We did solve it, yeah. And the way we solved it was really with our speech analytics. So it would have been very expensive to use some third-party speech recognition to always be listening to the phone line for the audio signal and comparing it against the code you got back to make sure you had 100% accuracy. Now that we have our own speech analytics and it can run natively on the same box, we are able to make outbound phone calls, and when we get one of those codes back from the phone company that we know is one of those ambiguous ones that they only get it right about half the time, we can see what the speech analytics engine had to say and actually analyze, was there a real message on this line that said the number was disconnected or changed, or was it a busy signal, and we can code the calls correct 100% of the time.
That's the first time I've ever heard speech analytics being used in that way.
Yes, and hence why the patent issued on the first try on that one, no one had thought about doing that. Because the problem is that no matter which way you code those ambiguous ones, you're creating a problem. If you code them all busy, that means that half of those busies are really disconnected numbers. You've got people whose number's disconnected that you should be finding what their new number is, but instead you're trying them every day and getting a busy every day. That's one problem. If you code them all disconnected, you really are researching or thinking you have a bad number on a bunch of your customers that you really don't have a bad number on. And it's a growing problem, and it's an accelerating problem. Even though it might only be 1% of the calls, it's 1% today, and tomorrow it's 2%, and the next day it's 3%, and all of a sudden, over a period of time, if you were to code them all busy as an example, you might wake up a year from now and all of a sudden 22% of your calls are busy and you're not sure why.
So what's brewing in the Noble Systems R&D lab right now? I'm really curious.
Oh, I'll tell you, we're so busy right now. Obviously we've been extremely busy with the new gamification platform, and there's a whole new product roadmap now for that, including not just out-of-the-box connectors to Noble's existing technology.
More fun stuff too?
More fun stuff, yes. Noble had been working on some very interesting gamification elements, just some basic ones for our own technology before we made the acquisition. And instead of releasing those, we're going to now put those into a 1.1 version of Noble Gamification. So some very cool stuff there. And what we're working on the speech analytics side of things, the stuff we announced today is just 1.0. We have a whole team of speech scientists that is just have a list of about 10 things on the speech analytics side of things to improve those products as we move forward. So speech analytics is going to be a lot of it. Multi-channel stuff, there's a whole list of product improvements there, including becoming very, very intelligent and using artificial intelligence to match up agents with contacts coming in, and to match up contacts and to have the technology learn over time and gather contacts for different customers. You'd be surprised how many customers don't have all of the touch points for their customers. So
No, I'm
they
not.
they don't know this all their mobile phone numbers, where they text from, where they chat from, what their email addresses are, and what have you. So our technology will have some built-in learning so that it builds and improves your database. And as you interact more with your customer base using Noble technology, you'll become more and more efficient. It'll be able to send contacts back to the agent that helped them last time. Right. It'll be able to, suggest the right channel. So those things are very, very exciting.
Thanks, Jim. We're out of time now, but it was great talking to you and finding out what Noble's doing now and what they're going to be doing in the future. And I look forward to talking to you about it again.
It's been great talking to you. Thanks.